Hello friends, I am Om Trivedi and you are watching EIS-SM with Om. Friends, today I am going to introduce a new concept about EIS-SM. In this concept, I am going to discuss only EIS-SM important pointers with you which are relevant for examination. In EIS, I will be more straight to the point as per the ICAI pointers and their little bit of explanation. In strategic management, of course, I will discuss some more examples and uh, I will give you hints also during the course that how you have to write the answer of a particular question. So let's get started with this new concept. I will be sharing with you guys all chapter wise revisions, and those will be maximum of 30 to 35 minutes per chapter. Say there are 8 chapters in strategic management, so all the audio and the video without my face, I will not be there just like a podcast. It will be there in front of you so that you can listen to these lectures whenever it is required. Say you want to revise chapter number 5, you can just open it, you can do your rest of the work, and you can listen to my voice, and you will be able to grasp the whole concept. So let's get started with this concept. From today, I'm going to share at least 2 to 3 chapters on daily basis. I'm especially recording for you guys. So all the students who are from any part of the country, they are comfortable with Hindi, they can listen to this. They are comfortable with English or any other language, they can also listen to this. It will be in a Hindi English mixed language, but of course I am going to use more English in this so that any student from any part of the country get the benefit of this scheme. I will also release audios of these lectures so that you will be getting from my Telegram channel, Om Trivedi. And this notes that I'm going to refer over here is, this is nothing but EIS-SM booster charts. The same notes will also be available on my Telegram channel or in the study mat section of my EIS-SM app. You can download it from Play Store and you can get it. So if you like this concept, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned. Here I get started, friends. First, I'm going to start today with strategic management because EIS, lot of revisions are there on my channel. SM, I wanted to give you some crisp revision. So in next 20, 25 to 30 minutes, I'm going to cover chapter number 1, and a little bit of introduction will also be there. So friends, let's get started with SM. As you know, strategic management is a very important subject where examiner wants you to write some jargonistic language and some explanation of the questions concepts with pointers as mentioned by the ICI. So we have to stick to those pointer of ICI and little bit of explanation with example and industry some cases. So as far as strategic management is concerned, as you know, chapter number 1, introduction to strategic management, has 6 to 7 marks weighted. At the same time, chapter number 2, dynamics of competitive strategy, has 10 marks, maybe sometimes 10, 12 to 15 marks it can go, because there are a lot many portfolio analysis techniques. So there can be a disproportionate weightage to this chapter also, as I feel. Chapter number 3 is strategic management process. It is of 5 marks and this is done. Generally, this is asked for 3 to 4 to 5 marks only. Chapter number 1 and 3 we study in a combined manner, 2 separately. And then chapter number 4 and 5 we study together, because this is a corporate level strategy, this is business level strategy, and both are practically oriented chapters. So examiners or the question setters love it like anything, and they ask practical questions from here. The combined weightage will be 13 marks. Sometimes it can be 13 to 15 marks weightage, but they are very important chapter. As far as chapter 6, functional level strategy, a straight chapter from your little bit of 12th business studies matter is also involved over there. So 8 to 10 marks weightage is good enough. So, and chapter number 7 and 8 again are combined chapters, as I told you. So if you have noticed this in this whole revision, I in this whole chapters discussion, I have talked about cluster 1 and 3, one cluster, chapter number 4 and 5 another cluster, chapter number 7 and 8 another cluster, 2 is independent, 6 is independent. Chapter number 7 and 8 is nothing but the strategic implementation and control, and it has a good weightage of 18 to 20 marks. Minimum 15 to 16 marks are being asked from here. Though these are 2 chapters, but they are basically strategic implementation and control divided into 2 parts. So we will cover in that manner only. So let's get started. Here you will get the summary also, chapter wise trend analysis, that how in which attempt how many questions have been asked from which of the chapters. So here we get started with chapter number 1, introduction to strategic management. In introduction to strategic management, we have core concepts like business policy. We have to study concepts of strategy and management, concept of strategic management, importance of strategic management, limitations, then levels of strategic levels of management, and there is strategic management for not-for-profit organization or government. Very important. And I have also marked very hot questions in this. First concept is business policy, very simple as per Christensen, though business policy is a framework guidelines to run the business in an efficient and effective manner. But business policy as per Christensen has four pillars, one, two, three, and four that I popularly define as SFM square. SFM square, S for study of the function and responsibilities of the top management, F for future course of action, M for molding the character and identity of the organization, and another M for mobilization of resources to achieve goals. So business policy, according to Christensen, has four dimensions. It is all about the study of function and responsibility of the top management. Just repeat with me. Means top management has its own set of responsibilities, so policy will be made for them. Next is future course of action, so they are responsible for planning, so they need to plan well, they need to decide about what to do, how to do, when to do, and who will be doing this from day to day operations to some strategic part. Molding the character and identity of the organization is completely related to the brand, how we are going to change the face of the organization with changing times. Say in 21st century, organization need to do some e-business, e-commerce, adopt some e-commerce, e-business models or architectures. So whether we are ready for that or not, so this will be again molding the character and identity of the organization. If we don't mold it, we will become outdated. Helps in mobilization of resources to achieve goals. It is not that you will be doing some planning, setting responsibilities to accomplish all those things. You need resources and you need to mobilize resources. You need to decide about which resource should be used at which place within the organization. So it was all about business policy, a very small important concept, though it was introduced in 1908 in Harvard University through syllabus, and gradually in 1980s we started studying strategic management and business policy. But now, purely strategic management is ruling the whole world. So now, let's get started with, and you can see so many examples. No exchange, cash only. Like there are employee policy, there are article of association, memorandum of association. All are business policies. Or say there is some, bring your own device in EIS we will be studying, so that is also your core business policy. So these are all about business policy, very simple concept. Chalo next concept है हमारे पास strategy. What is strategy? Strategy is nothing but it has originated from the word called strategos or strategia. So it has originated from military. So in military, what we do is our internal capabilities, special capabilities are matched in the battlefield with the external, our opponents competition. So it is talking about competition. So strategy always talks about competition and competitive advantage. Competitive advantage while competing. If we have competitive advantage, means we have a strategy, as it has originated from the word strategos. Strategos means the art of a generalship, the art of a general. First definition I'm going to refer over here is strategy refers to the ideas, plans, action, and support. Most of the times, what we believe, what we assume is that strategy is all about planning. It's wrong. Strategy is not only about planning; it's about ideas. It's also about plan and planning, but you need to put the things into action with all the support of resources, etc. While doing so, what you are aiming at is that the firm employs to compete successfully against their rival. Any company, either it is Maggie or it is Hyundai or it is Tesla, whatever they are doing to achieve competitive advantages. How do they achieve competitive advantages? Competitive advantages means getting an edge over the rivals. I will discuss with an example. Okay. So next definition is also there, a long range blueprint of an organization's desired image, direction, and destination. Image means what it wants to be, direction means what it wants to do, and destination means where it wants to go. So very simple. It's a long range blueprint. Two things that you need to remember about strategy is that one, it is decided, it is made, it is created, crafted by the top management. It is subject matter of the top management, and it has long term perspective. So if we are talking about profit maximization, it's a short-term strategy. It is tactics. It's not a strategy basically. But when we are talking about wealth maximization, it needs a lot of strategy behind that, because wealth maximization is a long-term concept. So I am referring to finance The reason is very simple, as you understand. One example we can discuss over here is Hyundai Motors unveils strategy 2025. I'm discussing this because you need to know how strategies are discussed. Hyundai announces a set of strategy to achieve steady growth. They want steady growth. They want to boost profitability, not profit. They want to boost profitability. I will discuss with an example. They want to do some more, create more value. They want to work on cost structure. As I always discuss, the core concept of strategic management lies in value creation, cost control and reduction, and profitability. So these three are the main. Price and profit are the byproduct of profitability, cost structure, and value created. We'll discuss in detail later. Sales, it wants to sell their electric vehicles 6,70,000 per annum, become top three EV manufacturer by 2025, offers most new models with EV drivetrain by 2030 in major markets, 2035 in emerging markets, invest 61.1 trillion into R&D and future technologies through 2025, and at the same time targets operating margin of 8% in automotive business and 5% market share in 2025. So this is the broad strategic goals and objective of Hyundai, and for this they need to employ resources. As we can see over here, the whole target was, there was an idea, there are plans, there are action, there are support. It wants to invest this much money for supporting the actions that is going to take in future. So this is what Hyundai is thinking. So this is one of the concepts. Okay, now competitive advantage. What do you mean by competitive advantage? Let's discuss with an example. Say there is a company called Portronics. Portronics क्या करती है, एक product बनाती है. It has 10,000 cost. Industry average cost is 10,000. Now it, by doing so, it is creating a value of 17,000 for this product, right? Means the cost is 10,000 and the value created is 17,000, means the profitability band is of 7k. Out of this 7k, what it does is it gives 1.5 thousand to the customer. So customer thinks that when money is not spent, money is saved. So he is attracted towards this product. To attract the customer, we give discounts. That is not basically discount, that is customer margin that goes into customer's pocket, or we don't charge them that with money. So this is the concept of MRP and the discounted price. So then the price offered is 15,500. So customer is getting 17,000 product at 15,500. So now, and the profit forms margin is 5,000 because 15.5 thousand, sorry, 5,500. 5,500. So it is 10,000, 15,500 minus 10,000, that is 5,500 margin. So out of this 7,000 is it distributed 1.5, 1,500 to the customer, and next 5,500 to the business. So through this it is creating value for both customer and the company. Both are getting margin out of this profitability, and that's why I told you that in strategic management, value creation, cost reduction and control, and profitability band is going to be of the main importance. And this is nothing but it is done to run the business in an efficient manner or effective manner. Say for customer margin, we get market share, market position. For profit, we earn profit and strengthen our financial position. So this is the concept of strategy. Now why will he go for Portronics? Because he is getting 2021 model with 10 features, 10-hour playtime, no waterproofing, 1 year warranty. This is something called as value added added, and that's why for they spent 10,000 rupees on this product to create value of 17,000. 17,000 means all these features that Portronics is offering. So it's very simple. Now when I'm talking about value created, when I'm talking about Portronics, at the same time there are other players in the market as well. It is not that Portronics is alone there in the market. So what others are doing, say JBL is there, so he is offering 22 model with 12 features, 12-hour playtime, IPX7 waterproof and 2-year warranty. It means if you compare this value with this value, you will say JBL had an advantage over Portronics because they are offering more features over here, and at the cost of 8,000 only. To produce such product, it spent only 8,000. Why? But they spent 10,000. Maybe they have not that kind of R&D, not technology. Maybe their raw material are not that cheaper as JBL gets. So this is all a part of a strategy. If you are getting raw material at a cheaper price, at a better price, you can bargain better, then you are in a good position to, position yourself in the market. What the outcome of all these is that out of 8,000 rupee, it is creating a value of 18,000. At the same time, if you can see this, they created a value of 17,000 in their product, whereas JBL is creating 18,000. Here again JBL has advantage. And what JBL is doing, because they are producing a better product at 8,000, so again they have 2,000 rupee advantage over its rival Portronics over here, because they are able to save cost. So cost saving means it will boost their profit or profitability or margin. So at the same time, what JBL is doing now is 18,000 का product बनाया, 18,000 value का product they created with a cost of 8,000, means their profitability band is 10,000. If they have 10,000 profitability, it means their customer, it means they have again advantage over here over Portronics, because Portronics had only 7,000 cushion of profitability. Now it is rich. JBL is rich and it can offer better than Portronics. So accordingly, they want to increase their market share and market position and want to wipe out all the competitors from the market. For that, what they did is they simply offered customers with a 3,000 margin. मीन्स कस्टमर को डिस्काउंट ज्यादा दिया, तो कस्टमर उसके प्रोडक्ट को बाय करेगा, उसका मार्केट शेयर, मार्केट पोजीशन ऑफ कोर्स इससे इंक्रीज होने वाला है. एंड एट द सेम टाइम 7,000 rupees will be the firm's margin. Why firm's margin will be 7,000? It is very simple, because they are selling at 15,000 and this is less. While competing, they are charging 500 less. So again, they have an advantage. So all these are points where JBL is scoring very good over Portronics Limited. So Portronics is, losing the battle against JBL, and that's why JBL is number one. So at the same time, they are getting cash rich. They are selling at lower price. They are able to reduce cost and they can create more value. Their profitability band is more. They are offering more margins to the customer. They are getting better market share and market position, and that's why JBL is the winner. So they have competitive advantage finally, and this is all due to three factors. One, cost reduction and control, because they saved 2,000 rupee against Portronics. Number two, better value creation. They offered better value, and at the same time, their profitability band was better. As I told you always, that margin and customer margin, firm margin, and price offered are the byproduct of profitability band made, value created, and cost reduced. So this is the concept of strategic management. With this practical example, I set the tone of strategic management. Now you are ready to understand what is the meaning of competitive advantage. Competitive advantage means it allows a firm to gain an edge over the rivals while competing. So you can easily understand the same concept in JBL versus Portronics example. So it can be through this pillar only. I popularly call it as pillar number 420. Uh, in a good mood, we talk about this. So don't worry. The set of unique features of a company and its products that are perceived by the target market is significant and superior to the competition. That is very, very important. Value creation means provide product and services to the customer with more worth. More value means feature, quality, durability, technology, availability, services, after sales marketing, after sales services, marketing, advertisement, and branding. This is a value definition for the customer. It can be distributor, retailer, or the consumer. But when we talk about value creation for the firm, because the business creates value for the business as well. So business needs profit, profitability, market share, market position, profit maximization in short term, and wealth maximization in the long term. This is something that the company requires, company needs. So business or business needs, business and enterprise also create value for themselves, because business runs the business. If they start not getting profit, they will be closed or they will become bankrupt. So this is something we have to understand. So this is the concept of value creation, competitive advantages, and this is the core idea behind writing this line. It helps to achieve competitive advantage against their rivals. So I hope you understood. Now you are ready to go forward with the strategic management, more concepts. Okay. So there is a very popular saying that there are two things in exist in business, that is strategy and innovation. Rest are cost and details. They're very important. Okay. So accordingly, I have mentioned two examples over here. So in brief, let me tell you, Walmart in 2008 recession, how did they behave? In 2008 recession, during that time, somebody asked Sam Walton, "Are you? Don't you know that there is recession across the globe and you are expanding your business like anything?" Sam Walton told the reporter that I'm not participating in recession, something called recession, because there is no recession in my business, because we manage our business strategically. It is a self-service retail established by Sam Walton in 1962. So in 2008, you can see the figures. They have 374 billion dollar sales, 11,000 stores, 50 countries in 2000. ठीक है, over 2 million employees they have. ROIC, return on invested capital, was 14.5%. 13.5 billion they earned during recession, whereas their competitors earned only 11.7 and 9.5%. So recession had no impact on Walmart, and it is still world's number one retailer. So there is no doubt about this. So this is how the winner companies, the strategically managed companies, or the companies who are following strategic management, win. Another example was of MACD. MACD's revenue in 2008 was 22.7 billion, in 2007 to 23.5 in 2008. Approximately, they earned 1 billion more in 2008 when there was a global recession. So the idea is, strategy is testing time is the recessionary or turbulent situation. Strategy का को check हम तभी कर सकते हैं how good our strategy is when we are into a bad time. So if we have a strategy and we have a strategic management capability, we will come out of recessionary or turbulent situation. Else, we will not be able to come out of that situation. Another example of Starlink. This is for reference. You can refer it. Now I am coming to the type of strategy. Now we will discussing what are the types of strategies. Basically, there are two types of strategies that we will be discussing in the syllabus, that is proactive and reactive strategy. But again, before I discuss that, there are also few more strategic pointers or terminologies used in our module. Number one is intended or planned strategy, means the plan at the beginning, strategy that organization hopes to execute. When you start a business at the beginning, the first plan that you make, the first strategy that you design, but these strategies are not permanent. There is another strategy called emergent strategy due to environmental changes. If environment changes, nazar badle, nazare badle, मौसम के इशारे बदले, so our strategy needs to be changed. Flexibility, or sometimes automatically it changes. So plan that develops over a time. Unplanned strategy that arises in response to unexpected environmental changes. Third one is realized strategy, means works, that the strategy, the actual strategy that worked at the end. Finally, when you see, when you get the results, you walk, you check your competitive advantage, you get the goals and objective achieved or not. At that time, the strategy was in function. That is called realized strategy. The strategy that is in fact followed by the organization overall. So there are three types: intended or planned, emergent, and realized strategy. This is something that we have to understand. Number two, I have given an example of Honda. Honda earlier started with their automobile business, and they wanted to distribute their products and services through the regular distribution dealer showroom network. This is planned or emergent strategy, but due to pandemic, etc., the dealer distributor network was shut down. So they planned, say suppose they plan to distribute their products through carwala.com or cardekho.com, etc., and there are so many online e-commerce models of automobile vehicles. So that is another emergent strategy. And then finally, today, if we see about the distribution strategy of Honda, we will see that they are working in a blend model. So they have offline showrooms, they have own showrooms, they have third party showrooms, dealer distributor network with e-commerce version of everything, and they have so many online sellers also. So they are getting the advantage of social media, dashboard technology, etc. So this is Honda's realized or actual strategy today. Now this is the difference. Now we are going to talk about, and another example of Facebook also I have shared. Strategy is proactive and reactive. Most of the times this question is asked by the examiner. It can be proactive, it can be reactive, but there are also something that called abandoned strategy, current strategy, or actual strategy. Initially, whatever we plan is the current strategy or planned or intended strategy, but With time, with changing environment, we have two type of option. One is called proactive strategy, first mover advantage we take. Proactive means a strategy which had not been implemented by anybody else based on some innovation or R&D. We opt for a proactive strategy that gives any company, any firm with a first mover advantage in the market. Reactive strategy, because my competitor has done something or they are giving a tough battle in the market field, so we are developing a new strategy to tackle their competition. That is called reactive strategy. And there are third type of strategy that is called an abandoned strategy. Sometimes due to some special circumstances we don't follow certain strategies. Say we were on a expansion path, but during the recession we stopped working on that expansion strategy. That is called abandoned strategy, means the firm has stopped following that strategy. Or we were planning to follow the retreat or retrenchment strategy when there was you know a lot of funds available in the but what happened that suddenly recession was called off or lockdown was called off and we got investment, we changed our plan. So that is called again the retrenchment strategy got abandoned strategy. So there are five types of strategy. An actual strategy is nothing but proactive current strategy plus proactive strategy plus reactive strategy minus abandoned strategy is equal to actual strategy. Something that you have to understand whenever there is a question that is coming in the examination, you have to draw this diagram. This is about current strategy, our current vision, mission, goal, objective, our strength, weaknesses, whatever we have. So these are proactive moves, adaptive reaction to the changing circumstances, reactive strategy, abandoned strategy. This will be minus, and this will be the latest version of the strategy, or you can call it as actual strategy. Now, what is strategic management? Another concept, very very important concept. Strategic management is all about process to determine mission, vision, value, goals, objective, roles and responsibility, timelines, etc. Means managing our strategy properly. Though you have a good strategy but you don't manage, if you don't manage, because there are so many environmental changes, internal, external, environmental, micro, macro environmental changes happening all together around you. If you don't manage, you might face tough times in the business. So we need to continuously follow the process of strategic management to determine our mission, vision, goal, objectives, values, responsibilities, etc. In another words, I will say strategic management is an ongoing process that EAR evaluates and controls the business and the industries it operates into, assesses its competitor and sets goals and strategies to meet all existing and potential competitors. Because we are intended to get competitive advantage, if you need to get competitive advantage, we have to careful about your internal strength and weaknesses, and that's why you have to evaluate and control the business and the industry. If you have to get competitive advantage, you have to continuously monitor and do some competitive landscape about your rivals. So you need to assess your competitors and set goals and strategies to meet all existing and potential competitor. And there is an external environmental factor, and there is your current strategy which might not be working or may be working. So you have to continuously monitor, means reassessment of each strategy to determine how it has been implemented, means how effective it has been so far in the light of fast moving external environmental factors. Because micro macro factors continuously change, you have to reassess, keep on reassessing your strategy at every point of time, say on daily basis, on fortnightly basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis, on half yearly, on quarterly, on annual basis. You have to reassess your strategies continuously, and that's why it is called an ongoing process. So it is an ongoing process of EAR, evaluation, assessment and reassessment. You have to remember, you have to mention it. What are the objectives of strategic management? Very simple: to create competitive advantage, as I discussed earlier, to guide the company successfully through all the changes in the environment. That is very important. So next point is, what are the benefits of strategic management? There are some core benefits as per ICAI. I have put them into pointers, right? I have clearly defined them into pointers. So number one is proactive. Helps you to become more proactive because you know about your external environmental factor. You know what my current strategy is, what is my proactive, reactive needs, and which strategies are supposed to be abandoned. So in that form, you are supposed to be proactive because you are very environment conscious and you know things and you are continuously monitoring your external and internal environmental factors. So you are supposed to be proactive, number one. Next is decision making, provides decision making framework. Third is direction setting for the company. It sets your direction, means it gives you vision, mission, goals, objective, at a value system at each point of time. You can avoid costly mistakes. Say you are managing your company strategically, so you will not do anything that is going to cost you dear for the business. And competitive advantage, and it builds your core competencies. Say you continuously do R&D innovations, so you build your core competency, and further core competency also contribute into your competitive advantage. You can have a capability to early identification of risk, of threats, and you can build your reputation. You can build the future of your the organization of the future. Longevity, you get a long age, your business grows, survives for a longer period of time, like Tata, like Walmart, like IBM, for 100, 120, 200, 300, 400, 500 years, like Cambridge University Press, like Times of India. So there are so many examples of businesses which have been surviving for more than 2, 3, 400 years. However, the average life of any company or organization is 50 years in Indian subcontinent. So this is called longevity or agility. So strategic management, if you are able to do your strategic management continuously, you will get agility or longevity. And future oriented, prepares the corporation to face the future. Because so core concept of strategic management lies in environmental analysis. If you understand the environment, if you know the internal external environment, micro macro, you can analyze well, you can plan yourself properly, you can prepare your strategies well, and your strategic management will be at the right place. So you have to remember these points are very important, very very hot topics. PD to avoid and control feature. P for proactive, D for decision making. Just once recite with me. Two means PD to D2 means direction setting. To avoids costly mistake. C for competitive advantage, T for threat identification, R for reputation, L for longevity, and future bole to future oriented. So you have to remember. There are certain limitations also. So on these two topics, benefits and limitation, you can get some practical questions as well from ICI. It invites attention of all the question setters. So here I go with limitations. Sabse pehla first point is complex and turbulent environment. Everybody knows that this is a characteristic, this is a of environmental factors, that these are complex, turbulent, multifaceted, dynamic. So this is something very important, and this is the core objective of strategic management, to guide the company successfully through changes in the business environment that you studied right now. So one is complex and turbulent environment. Next one is costly process, because it's a long-term process. It involves so many steps. It's a costly process. Everybody can't afford it. Time-consuming process, a long-term concept, time-consuming process. It is not that the strategy is implemented today and it will give you results tomorrow. It is a long-term concept. Decisions to be taken by the top management. Lot of resources needs to be mobilized and involved. So it's like a time-consuming process. At the same time, the competition analysis is a challenging task. Everybody knows that competitive landscape cannot be prepared so easily. So there are four limitations of strategic management. Complex, CTC, complex and turbulent environment. C for costly process. T for time consuming process. Another C for competition analysis, the challenging task. So here we end up sum up with these. So many example. Nokia, like Nokia could not understand the technological changes, the fast moving environment, complex and turbulent environment, and Nokia ka kya hua, everybody knows. Kodak could not survive, but at the same time, at the time of recession, Reliance was acquiring this gentleman, Kishore Biyani's future retail. How? Because they had a strategy. Kishore Biyani's strategic management process are not doing so well. So this is all about strategy, limitations, objective, benefits, and all. Now we are moving towards, one more concept, strategic levels in organization. Why these strategic levels within the organizations have been, created. So let's discuss. There is yet another concept, that is strategic level in organization. ये कॉन्सेप्ट करते हुए दो तीन चीजें आपको बहुत ध्यान में रखनी है. स्ट्रेटेजिक लेवल इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज नॉट अबाउट levels of management within the organization. Generally, within any organization, we have three levels of management. That is called top level or strategic level or functional level, or sorry, or executive level. Second is managerial level, and third is lower level, supervisory level, etc. I'm not talking about this over here. What I am talking about here is strategic levels in the organization, because gradually organizations started becoming bigger and bigger. Like we started, like Tata started its business from, retailing business in 1860s or something, 62, right? Then gradually Tata entered into so many other industries and businesses, and you can see the portfolio of Tata. This is how. So they have made a bigger basket of 100 plus companies. Similarly, it is there with Reliance. It is there with, Apple. Apple has three strategic business units, right? Let me tell you very frankly that iPhone is not a SBU. iPhone is a division of, and that is also a product division of telecommunication strategic business unit of Apple. So I heard some students talking to me that iPhone is a business unit, right? Every any multi-form organization, M-form structure, of course, any division is also called a unit. If saying unit doesn't mean that it is a strategic business unit. So from here, strategic business unit has originated. So this is how we, divided the business. Such multi business big conglomerate companies needed a better strategic level of organization to manage their businesses so well. It is not about a single business, it's all about a conglomeration of multiple businesses spread across multiple industries, and from there, corporate level, business level, and functional level of the strategic level of the organization originated. And then we have different strategies at different levels. Say at corporate level, we have corporate level strategy; business level, we have business level strategy; functional level, we have functional level strategy. Functional level strategy is at lower level, say at uh, department level. These are called tactics. This is a short term strategy because they need to implement operating plans developed by under corporate level and business level strategies. So they need operational strategies on day to day basis, for that is called tactics, or that is tactical in nature. Let's discuss about corporate level. This is a top business unit. Say Reliance, in Reliance Industries Limited, Mukesh Ambani is governing, is managing. The board is there. Senior executives are there at corporate level. It is not corporate office of Company Act 2013. Few people, get confused with corporate office. This is not corporate office. This is a corporate level. Of course, it will be having a corporate office, but that, because when we talk about corporate office, man, Reliance Jio is also having a corporate office. So how is it different from the Reliance Industries Limited and Reliance Jio office? So Reliance Industries Limited having a corporate office means a office which governs, which monitors, which handles the corporate basket, business basket of the company. Means the portfolio of businesses. It is handling portfolio of businesses, where business level deals with portfolio of product under it. Say Tata Motors having their products. So say if you are talking about Harrier, you are talking about, their Punch, etc., and Safari. So these are the products of Tata Motors. So, and Tata Motors is a SBU that is under the corporate level for Tata Motors will be Tata and Sons. So this is how these levels has been made. Now, at corporate level, we have corporate level strategy. Corporate level strategy is the growth design of the firm, as it spells out the growth objective of the firm, and that is depth, DEPT. D for direction, E for extent, P for pace, and T for timing of the firm's growth. You have to remember. Corporate strategy is concerned with four things. What? Competitive contact, R for reach, M for managing activities and business interrelationship, and another M for management practices. CRM square. CRM square. C for competitive contact, R for reach, M for managing activities and business interrelationships, and M for management practices. This is all about corporate level strategy. When we are talking about business strategy is a plan and action that firms devise to compete in the given product, market, scope, and setting. Because business is concerned about their product, their services, so they have their set of competitors. So how to compete within that industry, that is to be, that kind of strategy is to be established, that should be designed. The part of strategic planning will be done by those strategic business units at business level, and that is called business strategy. So here we are broadly talking about a strategic business unit, a profit center which is independent, which is autonomous, having its head, etc. So this is all about business level strategy. And the last one is functional strategy. It is, as I told you, functional operations, and uh, sub operations also, sub functions also. It deals with the sub functions also. Strategy at this level is called tactical in nature. So this is something we discussed. Now, strategic management in government or not for profit organization, the question arises over here is whether this is also required. Yes, either there is an educational institution, there is a medical organization, there is government agency, or there is some other not for profit organization. Everyone needs, you know needs to follow strategic management process, and the reason is very simple. Number one, first reason is every organization has its environment, have their set of competitors, need fund, need to grow, need to find their followers, need to get their, subscribers, etc. So for this, and there are also competitors. Say there is an educational in ICAI, so there are competitors like ICSI, ICMA. Now there is IIA in discussion. Now there are international competitors, SEMA, CPA, ACCA, etc. So whenever there is a competitor and the organization is there, whenever there is a race to become number one, and there is a race to become, to get competitive advantage, for that you need to arrange funds, you have to face environment, you will be influenced by the government decisions, you will be influenced by the demography, technology, etc. There will be a strategic management process that is required if you want to sustain in organize as an organization in the domain, in this universe. You need to follow strategic management. That is very simple. Few points, like if I'm talking about educational institutions are adopting different strategies for best student, to attract best student. Every institution does so. They join hand with the industry to keep themselves, more up to date, more employable, etc. Educational delivery system has to undergo considerable changes because there are internet technology, computing technology changes, they have to adapt. And online college degrees are becoming common. This is all about the, what we are discussing over here is the environment of the educational institution, because those institutions which are going to follow, they will grow like anything. Those who will not follow, they will not grow. Same happens with medical organization. They have their environment, they have their suppliers, they have their vendor, they can do forward backward integration. They need resources, they need fund, they need to get patients, they have other hospitals competing with them. So ultimately, with all the resources, plan, ideas, action, and support, they have to compete for competitive advantage. Yes, they are not for profit, etc. At the same time, government agencies, they have competition within themselves. They have competition with private agencies also. There are so many PSUs who work better than, private companies, though government is selling them. So many examples are there. So this is how you can deal with these two topics. One question might come from this area, so you have to, focus broadly on these pointers. This was all about chapter number 1. At last hint and tips from this. From my side, let me read it for you. While completing, after completion of this chapter, you will focus on these topics very well. In-depth understanding of the concept of strategic management, their benefit, limitation with corporate example is compulsory. Mark my words. As the question setter has all the liberty to ask practical and scenario-based question in this area. The above two topics, level of strategy and SM in NPO, is very popular among the question setter, and ICI have both the categories descriptive, practical, and MCQs. It can be asked. For this, I will recommend Bhism Pratigya question bank, that is their mentor question banks that we have released. If you want, you can refer their questions. If you're my student, you are booster student, fast track student, regular student, you have all these books. So you always, before you complete, say that I have done with this, I am done with this chapter, please read those questions. There I have, given you how, given the answers in the best presentable form, how you have to write in the examination, how you will be getting step by step marking. So please follow it. So thank you, friends. It was all about chapter number 1. You are watching IISM with Om. So in the next video, I will be coming with chapter number 3 and 2 gradually, and I will be completing all strategic management literature in the same format. This is a new thing that I thought that those students who want to only listen to the concepts and who want to only listen to strategic management or EIS concept while working or while solving some other problem, I have created this video so that you get least distraction and more, output out of this. So see you, all the best, bye bye.